Hey folks, welcome to this breakdown of the knockout that we saw Davey inflict upon Jonathan Martinez at UFC Fight Night Edwards versus Mohammed. That was a good example of some of the things that I've been mentioning for a while now. And just let's get right to it. So biggest issue is that they are standing face to face and trading. So they are within the sphere of influence of each man that we can draw like this. This is the danger zone is right here. So every time you're there, you got to be careful. It is inevitable up to a certain degree that you end up having to fight in this zone. Nothing you can do about it, avoiding it completely. However, when you are there, especially at the range they are at, then you are always in a position where you are either striking to hopefully get things done, or getting the hell out of there. And if you don't, well, then you're at risk. So it becomes a high risk, high reward strategy. So let's look at what happens here. So we're going to see that Davey's going to throw that low right hand here. And the first thing I want to notice about all this is that you'll see that it's not really a great right hook. I mean, it's wide open. It's starting from all the way back here. So that's the first thing. And second thing is you'll see on impact that this is pretty much a straight arm shot. So he's got a fully locked out elbow mostly, and he's hitting with a thumb. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't hurt at all, but it's not the best possible technique. So that's the first thing. Second thing we'll see is that he is out of position. So he's facing 90 degrees off to the side. Look at the angle of the feet. Look at his upper body. Now he has full range here, has full extension. That is good, but that's dangerous. Second thing we have to notice here, he narrowly misses getting countered here. So again, this when you're trading, when you're standing close at this range and trading punches, anything goes. Now the next part is also worth mentioning is that you see that from here, from this lower position, Martinez is going to start swinging with his left hand. So, and he actually has a pretty good timing advantage here, because you can see that he's going to hit first and swing through, and then he gets hit. So that is the main thing here. The thing is that he doesn't have a clean hit. So if he would have, and I'll see if I can pause it. Okay, we'll see better in the other shot. If he could have hit a little bit more the wider angle, then there's a good chance that he might have hit better and knocked Davey out. But he doesn't. And what we see here also, again, I'll show it again, the rotation that Davey puts in there. I mean, that's like everything in the kitchen sink is in there. Watch how his body torques, how that left arm creates a long lever, and he's swinging everything into it again. And we've got another pretty much locked out arm here. I'll show it again in the next camera angle. So this one lands, and then we see Martinez, he goes down, and what do we see? Huge surprise. What have I been talking about for a long time? Tatana half kneeling position. How many times have I said this before? So this is a key component. We are seeing the transition away from just diving on top and ending up in the opponent's guard. For years, this happened in professional MMA. We're finally seeing fighters who don't do it anymore. Awesome. More of that. And as you guys know, I have my biases like anybody else, but this half kneeling position, the way it's used now is only a very limited use of what it can actually be. So anyway, that's my rant for this video. I want you to focus on the right fist here that he uses as he plunges down. So Dave's going to throw that hand, but it misses, right? So you can see here that it just either glances off or misses completely. It's hard to see from this angle, but it doesn't land flush. Doesn't matter. He is in a good position here to continue striking. So he's going to reset his position a little bit. Notice how he comes up into a tall half kneeling position almost. And then he's going to throw again. And at that time, the ref steps in and we're done. So that's the first angle. Here we see a different angle, a little bit better. So I want you guys to watch the timing again. First thing, watch Martinez's left hand. See what happens here. So he is going to spot that right low body hook coming in. Notice that the hook is already started And now is when he starts lowering that hand. So he's a little bit late here, and he's going to bring down that hand. If he would have mistaken what that punch was, he would have been wide open here. Oh, needed a circle here. It would have been wide open on his left flank. So if Davey would have feinted with that low right hand, and then instead of going down, would have come up with it, it would have landed perfectly. So that's one thing. So when you do lower your hand, make sure you keep your hand as high as you can and your elbow as low as needed to defend against that incoming low blow, but don't just drop your hand like this. Second reason is that, I'm going to get into it, but first notice that his right hand here is going to miss. So he's doing this tentative counter, but it doesn't land anything. Right, now I want you to look at where Martinez's hand is at this stage. It's down here, right? Imagine it if it would have been up here to the side of his face, protecting his face where it should have been. Now notice that, again, the timing advantage. So Martinez is going to throw, and Davey's doing the same thing. Notice the timing. I'm going to go slow, bit by bit. Okay, who lands first? This is the moment where Martinez lands. Now, he doesn't have a good angle. I mean, guys, pay attention to this. He's hitting with his fingers. That's the way you get your fingers broken. So proper technique, guys, it's important. But imagine that instead of having started all the way down here because he kind of flopped that defense against that low hook, he would have started here. The path of that hook, the arc would have been so much shorter. And there's a really good chance that he would have landed it better and knocked out Davey then in this exchange. So again, fundamentals, good basic techniques. Keep your hands up high when you need to, keep your elbows tucked in where you need to, and move your arms appropriately as opposed to just flinch responses that go all over the place. Then, one more. See if I can show this clearly. You can see here, boom, this is the impact shot, right? The impact. So we're going to see that straight arm here from Davey again, and look at the position that his fingers are in. Now I'm going to rewind a little bit so you can see the palm is down. He is hitting with his thumb. He's not hitting fully with his knuckles. His thumb is pointed inward into Martinez's face, and that's what lands. Now you can see here it does get the effect that we want. So it's not that it doesn't work at all, but this is the way that you break your thumb. Anybody out there, if you're listening, if you've been boxing for a little while, you know how easy it is to break your fingers. If you're hit really hard, and especially we've got the small gloves, sure, you know, his hands are wrapped, I know, but you've got the small gloves. If you land like this, there's a high likelihood that you're going to break your thumb and end up messing up your hand. Now, did it happen? I don't know. I don't know if Davey talked about it afterwards, but for sure, go to any MMA gym and they will tell you, well, you know, you don't really want to throw a long hook and land with your thumb like we see here. Maybe you just want to angle it in so you hit with the knuckles. Sure, there's rich hand blows and this and that. That's not what he was doing here. He's closed his fist. It's a long left hook. It's not anything else. So stop living in fantasy land that he's doing traditional martial arts, karate, kung fu, whatever. It's not what he did. He threw a long left hook. So, long story short, the key takeaway that you guys need to have is this phase here. The first one who lands wins. And with the first one who lands, I mean the first one who lands effectively. Because Martinez lands first, but it's not effective. So your techniques need to have stable stopping power. Meaning that you have to know that if you land correctly, it's going to have an effect. If it doesn't knock the guy out, it can at the very least slow him down or fully stop him in his tracks. This is not the case here. It's a glancing blow. As you will see, it doesn't land flush. It glances off, and then Davey lands his own, and that's all she wrote. So focus on fundamentals, focus on basic technique, getting it right systematically all the time. So that if you do end up having to trade, standing toe-to-toe and face-to-face, that you have at least the minimum amount of protection to make sure that you don't end up getting knocked out. Because this is a crapshoot. I mean, again, first guy who lands is going to win this exchange, as we see. And if he doesn't win the exchange, at the very least, he has the risk of damaging you to the point where the next punch is going to knock you out, and so on. So these trading wars here be smart about them. Okay? Every little detail matters at the professional stage, so start training like that from the beginning. Right, that's it, guys. I've got more videos coming up. I had a little bit of a time off because I was so busy with work, my other websites, and so on. So, as always, like, share, subscribe, pass this on to people who are into MMA as well and might enjoy this video. Follow me on the social media, all that crap, and check out the Patreon. More goodies coming that way as well. That's it, guys. Take care. Keep on training.